Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Thou art my father, thou art my mother, thou art my friend and companion. Thou art my love, thou art my everything, O Lord of Lords. Om peace, 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 shanti, shanti, shanti. So here on the Narada's way of love, that is the Bhakti Sutras, translated by Swami Prabhupada, and will be page 100 today, 100. And that means the chapter 6 in this book. So the other parts we have been emphasized how this bhakti, that supreme love, which is so much welcomed by everyone, at least for the seekers of God, they want to have that intense love, intense feeling, intense attraction for the Lord. But how will it happen? So that's why Narada gave some suggestions, not himself. He's very humble. In our advice, we give, I say this, do that, do that. But these are holy people. They're so humble. They said, okay, according to the sage Sandillo, according to that other holy people, they say that if you have love for listening to the holy words of the Master, if you have love for worship and other devotional practices, if you have japa of this, and then holy company, and the holy company ultimately said that is best way of, that's a God's grace to dawn in one's life if one gets holy company. And then 39 verse we read that they said, Mahat Sangha, holy company, you don't think it is so easily available. If you get it, it's very much difficult to have it. And if you have it, then its impact is deep and profound. But how will you attain that devotion? He said, Labhate upi tat kripayaiva. Only by God's grace you can have a holy company. That means the blessings of God is necessary, not by your own effort. You may have good karma, but ultimately without God's grace it does not happen. Why? Because in the eyes of God, the holy people and God are same. Holy people means those who live in God. Those who, their whole thought process is in God. All their actions are centered around God. Then they don't understand anything but God. That is the holy people. So, and you understand that this God and his devotees, there is the least difference between them. Because they live in the consciousness of God, they become godlike. Not that God, but all the godly characteristics they manifest: love, compassion, purity, holiness. So they manifest to their life. Therefore, every spiritual seeker, last verse 42, Tadevo Saddhatam, Tadevo Saddhatam, twice Narada says, therefore, one should always pray to have the holy company, have the holy company. That should be your spiritual practice. That means you struggle to have Holy company. Where can we get holy company? Don't miss it. Have that holy company. And that holy company is the easiest way of getting the grace of God or developing spirituality in you. Otherwise, spirituality is theoretical and this become practical become because those people who made it manifest in their life, that spirituality become practical in their life. So therefore, try your best to have holy company. Always try to think of holiness, holy company. Now, this was the verse what we read so far, but today we'll read the verse 1343 that as holy company, you got holy company means you got God. Finish. But if you don't and you go to the opposite, then what will happen? This obstacle. What is the obstacle to spiritual life? Obstacle to spiritual life is dussanga, bad association or unholy association. Association, what is unholy and holy? Holy that takes us to God. Unholy what? Which takes us away from God. Simple formula. So there is a proverb, no? A man is known by the company he keeps. That was the early days formula, no? A person who lives with he can be understood. Suppose a musician, you can find him. His friends are all musicians, no? A politician, his friends will be politicians. Eh? A man of literature will have good friends with their own profession, no? So similarly, you think that you are known, somebody may be known what type of friend he associates with, what type of friend is very good and in relationship, close to that type, because they are thought, they vibrate in the same type of thought current. So a good person with a good person. You cannot go just to meet with some people who are little violent type of people. No, it will not suit our nature. And they come to us, they will not also, those who are little soft and sweet and sattika quality, the other people will not feel comfortable with them. They will be fish out of water. Uh, so we will also feel fish out of water if that is not congenial for our mindset. So advice is given. Therefore, dussanga. Sangha means association of du. Du means which is to be shunned, bad, negative, evil. Evil is the best strong word. Don't use that evil. Even for spiritual life, those who are not really seekers of God, if you have association with them, your quality will go down. Unless you are a strong person. A tender plant, we are all in spiritual life tender plant. Tender plant needs a protection. In India, you see, here is not that much available. The cows and the what you call the goat, they roam about in the street. No, people plant some nice plants, trees to grow on the roadside. Unless they put a fence, at any point of time they will come and chew it out. So similarly, a spiritual plant when it is growing, it is very sweet. So those other goats and cows, it is delicious food for them. So when they find such a tender plant of spirituality growing, they will go and chew them by putting their old negative ideas and negative feelings, this jealousy, this hatred, this what do you call uh, a paraninda, evil talking negative about other people, bad criticism. They will find 24 hours will go away by them. That they're spending their time, but they will be spending time in Criticize, you can criticize anyone. Criticize yourself. Why my mind is going to this direction? Some Holy Mother said, no. Why you see fault with others? Because you have fault in your mind. A pure soul does not see fault. It will catch his eyes, but he will not be inclined. He will not associate with that. Rather, he will avoid that and see something which is good. Holy Mother. Everywhere you find so much difficult situations she passed through, but she always saw something good, something good, something good. And that means it is a sign that you are becoming holy, because holiness gives that. So here, dussanga. What is dussanga? Dussanga means the worldly thoughts, vishanga, vishaya chinta. What is another? Jagat charcha, day and night, discussing about all the what is happening here, what is going there, what is. No, I have no business for myself, but in others' issue, others' affairs, poke your nose and go and what they are doing, what they are doing, what they are doing. Okay, that's okay. But why are you your precious time you are spending for that? What benefit it is bringing to you? That's very important. Spiritual life is subjective. Spiritual seekers should be very serious. Why I am indulging what I want? Do I want that? Then I can do day and night and go like any ordinary worldly person. I want to improve myself. I don't want to listen to that. No. So that old lady, one lady used to come to Hari Maharaj. Today is Hari Maharaj, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Swami Turiyananda birthday. So evening reading will be here, Turiyananda reading, and so on. So what about that? So Hari Maharaj, that lady used to come here out of affection. He used to ask, oh Maharaj, oh Swami Turiyananda, how are you? Kaisa tabiyat hai? How is your health? Naturally, the way of conversation, no? But you know, Hari Maharaj says, I am Atman, I am not the body, not the body. So he does not want to think about body. So one day he said, oh mother, I am okay. And then he engaged in his spiritual talk. Again, the lady came. Similarly, he said, first word as we normally say, how are you, how are you? And the Maharaj got on the third day, Swami Turiyananda got annoyed. What he said? Kya mai? What mother? हम जिसको भूलने मांगता है, that what I want to forget. And you come every day and remind me, how are you, how are you, how are you? That means, how is your body? I don't want to think of the body. I want to think I'm an Atman. And you are reminding me, hey, how is your body? How is your body? Then you are pulling me into the body consciousness. Baba, for them, this much word also irritated them. That is the Jagat Charcha, the discussion. It is chutney. World, some type of criticism of others, some types of worldly talk. It gives us excitement and joy. That is not good for spiritual growth. Jagat Charcha. And also, Bhoga Priti, the affection for enjoyments of the senses. The five senses are there. Anything which gives us little good suggestion, that you tend to run towards that. No, avoid. So, and lastly here says durachar, those people who are engaged in bad conduct, etc., etc. These are the few examples. This is called the bad association. Bad association does not mean only going to some bad place or doing something bad, but also is in thought level, is in very final level. Gross level, of course, it is there. Forget that. In a subtle level, in our tendency is such that we feel pleasure or we feel joy in gossiping about others. In fact, one topic, if someone gets into this point, this has happened to that, no, anything very bad, or we call the worldly, very mean. Then people, the excitement goes on. What? Huh? And 1 hour will go away by discussing about what that nonsense thing. But no discussion about God. So you think of God, holy association, listen to that, and avoid in a subtle level in your mind, even in the mind, all these thoughts which arises, worldly thoughts, and then talking about mundane things day and night, your attachment to the experience, enjoyment of the sensate objects, as also that misconduct, bad conduct, etc. These are here said bad association. And that you are to sarvathayevo, very strong word. Sarvatha means by all means, totally. There's no compromise there. Okay, this little I do, what is there in it? I do for fun, you do for fun, but the fun does not allow you stop that bad impression in the mind. Our mind is such, whatever you think, it creates immediate reaction and an impression. Immediate reaction and an impression. Swami Vivekananda gave this example in the Raja Yoga. You throw a stone in the lake or a pond, you throw a stone, one thought, stone is one thought, and holy thought, unholy thought, whatever you do, it will do first create one immediate reaction. The water gets rippled. That is the first reaction. No? And then you see, but the stone, that thing goes down, and sets where? In the substratum. So any thought you welcome and enjoy and relish, maybe momentarily that is not gone, but it is, we are creating some danger for ourselves, we are creating, because it goes and sinks into my subconscious mind. So if someone does holy thought, holy association, holy talks, holy inspiration, then what will happen? It will create new substratum. Substratum will be charged with positive thinking, godly thinking. Yeah, and it is always putting you further more into God intoxicated mood. That's why it is japa. It is said that do the japa every moment. What does it mean? Whenever you put a thought, your Ishta mantra, you are throwing a stone as it were in your mind lake. And immediately it is giving the view of your Ishta mantra, meaning of your, say Ramakrishna, say Christ, say Buddha. It's just idea, because you are chanting that. And then immediately, that is the immediate effect, good effect. And when it goes down and sinks, you will find that it is helping you next time, because it is the substratum is being charged with positive thoughts, not the negative thought coming up to disturb the positive thinking. So that's why it is said, don't associate with the negative people, which is called negative in spiritual life, which will be a barrier for your spiritual growth. So, and you have to not avoid in all possible ways. Sarvato bhavena. In all possible means, in all possible ways, you have to block those. Eyes will create trouble. If you are not careful, eyes will like to see something which is vulgar. Yeah, stop it. Is it taking you towards God? Any view you see that takes you to God? Good. But anything not, I will not see. There is a story, three monkey story, monkey. So one monkey is closing the eyes. That means anything which is not in my spiritual path, I won't, or bad thing, I will not see. Close the ear. Not hear. I will not hear that which is not congenial for my spiritual growth or which drags me to negative thinking. I don't hear. And don't speak what is not congenial, what is not good for you, what is not spiritual. So, this is the very common teaching, but very difficult to follow. So, it is said, uh, do these things for that worldly things which takes us down and go to the holy company contradictory. You cannot keep your eyes shut down all the time. You open eyes, but what will you see through your eyes open? See the glory of God. The beautiful is raining, the clouds, rain clouds come, no? And behind that the sun. See the beauty. And let it remind you of God. Yes, okay, one stone comes to the eyes, falls into the mind, and makes a reaction immediately, no? And also it sets down God consciousness, no? The birds are flying, birds are going home, feel that wow, we have to go back to our own nest, eternal home, going back. Think of the look at that and think something positive. It is adding to your spirituality, not that when you are sitting and doing japa only, that will help. So through your eyes open, through your ears, what you are hearing, through your speech, the three, all the five organs, but these are the major three. So they are talking about take care of them. So avoid anything that is worldly, what takes us to bad conduct should be avoided totally. So the verse says 43, shun evil company by all means. What is evil company? Avoid evil company, especially at the beginning of spiritual life. Now, why? You may say, sir, everything is God. Why not I go and see God everywhere? That's very good if you can do that. But are you matured enough that to see divine in everyone? When you are, of course, that will be the best. Whom to avoid? Are you avoiding God? No. But if you are not into that level of understanding and you show your ego and pride and go and mix with these negative things, what will happen? Well, the tender plant will be chewed by these cows and these goats, no? Who likes very tender leaf. So everyone likes tender leaves, no? You go to vegetable garden, what do you like most? The tender part of it, no? So when the tender spirituality is coming, don't allow that. So that's why it is said, avoid evil company, especially at the beginning of spiritual life. You may say, no, 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 our spiritual life. I am here for 60 years, 50 years. I am 70 years doing like that, 60 years doing like that. You are doing. Are you really beginner yet or no? You have matured. Are you seeing God everywhere? Then you are not beginner. But you remain in the same old rut of thinking, worldly thought, and then going to the same type of stereotyped lifestyle, and not develop the spiritual eye, the spiritual ear. Spiritual ear will have what you call screen to filter. It's a filter. It will filter only bad things will remain here and good things will go in. That's a filter. Eyes will have a filter. When you develop that, that's your spiritual growth. If it is not, you are filtering this, not without filter, everything is going and you are taking more of the garbage. Then nothing has happened. 20 years, 10 years, so those are all you worthless words. But be careful. This is the what you have the capacity of filtering the things.
Yogatmananda said that these are the doors. They are not the hole. So you don't keep in your home the doors open. You open when you want somebody to come in.
Hmm.
If it is a hole, then all garbage, everything can.
Yeah. But if you have a good scanner, then it can filter. You put a filter, then only the good thing will come. So with this air conditioning has a filter. So filter means it filters what is dust and dirt and other things not to come in. That's why after a few days you have to change the filter. So this filter you have to change every day by your spiritual practice, by your holy association, so that it does not allow the dust and dirt. And then it goes inside means our lungs get affected, our system gets affected. Spiritual lungs will not be able to breathe in. As much dirt and dust accumulates inside, the lungs, heart will be stopping because it cannot breathe anymore. So, and you get fresh oxygen? No, yeah, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So, that is the beginning stage, it is necessary. Ramakrishna says also, the young plant needs to be hedged around to protect it from being eaten by the stray animals. When the plant grows into a huge tree, then it gives shelter to all. Then you need not have to protect him. A Brahmagyani, after practicing such, who has seen God, who has experienced God, no? For them, if any person who comes with bad background, by their grace, they will be filtered. Because they are already perfected, they will perfect all others. That's the power. Have you gained that power? If not, then don't take the garbage. But not garbage means don't take the garbage. Avoid as far as you can the bad association. Evil company does not mean association with worldly minded people only. It also refers to avoiding all objects of temptations. Not only person you can outwardly say, I am a holier than thou, I am avoiding. But you, silently, you are enjoying something. Yeah? It is called the mind, and mukh. What you say does not match. You say, I avoid evil, avoid from here also. Internally, you are achieving bad things, and externally, you are showing holiness. And that is not bhakti. That will not give us bhakti. There is a prayer in the Upanishads. No? That's why we say that, let my eyes be pure. No? That's why he says, with our eyes may we hear what is good. Huh? With our eyes, ears, what is there, what we hear, what is good. With eyes, we see what is good. Tranquil in body, may we who worship thee find rest. Huh? What is that verse? With the ears, let me see what is auspicious. With the ears, what is here auspicious. With the eyes, we see what is auspicious. With the mouth, what is speak, that is auspicious. No? We chant that verse. That is the point. There, you should pray for that. We should try not to indulge, and when we fail, there is a saying, open the eye of spirit and see that Brahman is all. You have to open the eye of Brahman consciousness, no? Try to see that God resides in the heart of all. Try to see like this. How? When you look at that, think that my beloved Ramakrishna is seated in the heart. Of whom am I seeing? This physical body is there, but in a subtle way, the Lord is seated in the heart there. So we find that great souls make no distinction between the sinner and the saint. If men surrender themselves to the mercy of a great soul, they will be lifted up and become saints in their turn, even though they may have committed grave mistakes, grave sins. So that, but one should go to a holy person like that stature, and you have to also understand whether you are capable of being like that or not. So, huh, ঠিক আছে, come sit somewhere quietly. That will be later on. Just sit with your in holding in your hand. So, so that is the point, that see what is noble, hear what is noble. eh? But this distinction is not necessary. It is for the preliminary stage of our spiritual journey. We need to avoid unholy company and go for the holy company, so that holy thoughts, holy ideas are within us. And inside, we will be careful observing what is going on inside. We may criticize, oh, that man is bad. I don't want to get out of him. That, that's right. That's why the prayer, just the Upanishadic prayer, what Swamiji has referred here. Bhadrang karnevi srinuyamu devaha Bhadrang pashe makshavir jajatra Sthirairangai stushtvagum shastanuvi Pashema devahitam jadayu. And then Swastina Indra. So what it says, Bhadrang is which is auspicious, what is noble. Bhadrang Pashyami. Bhadrang Shinomi. I will listen. Bhadrang Karnevis. Through the years I will hear what is only auspicious thing. A filter, put a filter here. What is not necessary. There are so many things, what can you do? The world will change for you. Just understand. You want holy company. Oh, all people will be holy for that? No. There will be all people, all type of people. Why you have to think about that? You only take what you need. In the air, there are so many pollutions. But what your lungs and your function of your intake is what? You only take the oxygen only. Though everything is there, but you should have to learn how to take oxygen which sustains our life, spiritual life. So physical life this way, spiritual life that way. Therefore, but there are great souls, the spiritual souls, who are so above. If we go before them, because they are already not a tender plant of spirituality, they have become a giant tree. There you can tie, Ramakrishna said, you can tie an elephant also. You can tie an elephant. That elephant will stay over there. So there is no fear anymore. Rather, that person may be a source of inspiration to others. And if we go to them, by their grace, our mind will be lifted. But until then, one should be careful to how you are thinking, how you are associating with. No? So, and become saint in there. So if a man surrender to these type of people, the mercy of God, of a great soul, then they will be lifted up and become saint in their turn, even though they may have committed grave mistakes or sins. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, what? God dwells in all, but you do not hug a tiger. So if you know that someone is not up to your expectation, that what you want, that means that pure, that holy, or that type of person you want to live your life, so you avoid that. But you need not have to criticize. You just learn how to live in the life. And the tiger is also, God is in everyone, true. But the Sattika manifestation, Rajasika manifestation, or the Tamasika manifestation. Huh? It's bulb, there may be 1,000 watt bulb. No? It may be covered with a thick, dark glass, tainted, very dark. No light or little light will come up. And now, if the glass is clearer glass, greater manifestation, greater manifestation, greater manifestation. So now, there is no distinction between, there is no bad and good in the ultimate sense. But in the relative sense, when we are here, there is apparent good and bad. So we have to try to get out of those apparent bad to apparent good. And then you reach a point you give good and bad, both throw away. Ramakrishna's example. A thorn has pricked your feet, you take another thorn and try to pull out that thorn which has gone in your feet. And then bring out, and then what will you do? Both the thorns, throw away. So first, our negative tendencies to be taken out by positive tendencies, positive work, positive thoughts. And after that positivity also comes out, all positive, then throw away that, see Brahman only. Then you don't see it is good or bad. In the eyes of the Brahmagyanis, everything is divine. So that state we have to wait. And that's why, however, in the presence of a man of God, even the tiger loses his ferocity and becomes like a lamb. Huh? And he gives an example, that Swami Brahmananda's example. I personally experienced a strange phenomenon in the life of Maharaj, my master. Swami Prabhupada, writer of the book, says, then in the life of my master, my guru, I found one strange phenomenon. What has happened? One day in Madras, as he was walking with another young disciple and myself, that means Swami Prabhupada, another brahmachari, and Swami Brahmananda was walking in the street. No? A mad bull suddenly appeared a few yards away from us and approached with a lowered head. That means, as they do, that means coming to charge head, and was about to charge us. There is no time to run away. To run. My brother and I, that means two brahmacharis, in order to protect Maharaj, because the bull is trying to hit this Maharaj. So the brahmacharis were trying to stand in the front so that Maharaj is not affected. But Maharaj tried to step in front of him, but he raised his arm. Maharaj said no and pushed us behind him and stood still. And then what he did? Facing the bull. He looked at the bull with steadfastness, calmness, serenity, with his majesty. Then the bull calmed down and shook his head from side to side, and then let us go. Then we escape. So the example is given that you can do that if you have the spiritual strength. In the early days, we hear about that there is hermits, the sages used to live in the forest. And there it is found that the tiger and the lamb, they are drinking water from the same water reservoir. Why? Because of the power of the austerity of the sage. We hear some stories in our old Puranas. No? What are that? That means his spirituality is so great, the others cannot think of anything else. They're influenced by the powerful thought of this sage, the saint. So unless you raise there, you have to avoid and you have to like. So you go for holy company, try to avoid what takes you away from God, what disturbs you, your mind, and shakes it and takes your all inner spiritual moods. So that means nurture your spiritual mood where you can. So this is the explanation of this verse, that dussanga, bad association, bad thoughts, sarvatha eva, for all time to come, tajya, it is to be renounced, it is to be detached, it is to be given up. Why? Now comes the 44th verse, which is more step by step, the reason more. And we can easily understand that because we become victims of this type of thing. What happens? It says kama, krodha, moha, smriti bhrangsha, buddhinasa, sarvanasa karanatvat. Because bad association or evil association, what happens? It takes us to worldliness. And worldliness means greed. Worldliness means more of possessing these tangible, transient things of the world with any means. Do you see how people are greedy? They are cheating their own brother. They don't go on fighting with the sister for little property. Parent. In every home it happens, no? When mom and dad are there, that's okay. When they die, and brother and sister, they go on to court case and my share, this share, he is taking more, I am taking more. And not only that, they can go to that far, even to kill each other. So, what is that? Why it is so? That's why if that happens, then when desire, lust comes in someone's mind, they become brute. Do they behave anyway, just like a normal person? So that's why it says kama krodha, because this dussanga, bad association, bad thought, here it is said, evil company should be shunned because it leads why? To lust, anger, delusion, fullness of the soul, and ultimate ruin. These are the Gita's words also. It's step by step. When one gets, when I desire something and you say no, what will happen? Even the children. If the child wants something and mom says no, then he will first cry to grab it, and if not, then anger, he will throw away this thing, that thing. So we are adult childs, so we also do the same thing. I want something, and suppose it is obstructed. Kamat, krodho vijayate, anger will come immediately. What? I justify myself, I fight for it, or kamat, krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When you get into anger, it is everyone. It loses your all the sense of propriety. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. You get deluded. You lose krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha smriti vibhrama. Then you forget, no, I'm a gentleman. I should not behave like that. I should not say these few words. I should not throw away the thing like I did that. I should not make an attempt to behave like a rude, unkind person. So, kamat krodho vijayate. First of all, desire, any desire. It may be simple one piece of pain, maybe some minor thing to big thing. Kama. Kama is not only lust, lust for even petty things. Kamat krodha, anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Then you get deluded. Sammohat smriti vibhrama. You forget your dignity, your background, your status, your stature, your good characteristics, your nobleness, nobility. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha smriti vibhrama. You forget. Smriti bhrangshat buddhi nasa. Then you lose your brain. What should not be done, you do that. Smriti bhrangshat buddhi nasa pranasyati. Then you are dead. You are a spiritual person. You are not a man. You are a Buddhist. That's why in Bengali they call Chandala. The anger is called Chandala. Chandala means why? Chandala is untouchable in Indian context because not today's society have that. But early days, those people used to work with the filthy things. They had to buy their profession. They used to do to carry the filthy things for. So naturally, uh, so they used to feel that it is to touch them is an আচ্ছা ওটা নিয়ে নাও না এই ওইটা নিয়ে না ফুলটা রেখে দাও রেখে দিয়েছো কোথায় রাখবে you know for your room. So and then you forget your sense, and then you forget your spirituality, forget your peace, forget your natural, and then you do something which you never expected. And that's why many people out of anger does something and then repent so much afterwards. Why did I do that? I am not that. I don't really mean that. Sorry. In everyday home, it happens. It is a common incident in every home. But why? You can stop it at the beginning. If you think, why I am expecting that this to happen this way? Let it happen in its own way. I want it. Okay, I want it. If it has happen, I'll be happy. If not, okay, God's will. Give up. Cultivate that spirit. Not to go to the way like a human brute will move in that direction. So that's why this evil company should be shunned, because kama, why? It will shun because it leads to kama, means lust, krodha means anger, moha means delusion, smriti bhrangsho, forgetfulness of the soul, buddhi nasa, and ultimate ruin, which is the sarvanasa karanatva. Sarvanas, we in Bengali call sarvanas. Sarvanas means all gone. Anything good, all your character, all your goodness, all your education, all your family tradition, all your piety, honesty, everything just is dead. It's ruined into zero. All your whole life, spiritual practice, everything is gone. So these are the reason one should avoid the evil association, evil company. These, now you may say, what is there? It happens. Right? And you may think that I'm not going to that last condition. A little desire came, I was really angry, and justification of my anger. There is no justification of anger. I'm justified. Because of this, really it is okay. There may be reason, but your anger should not be justified. Because it is ruining you. You want to ruin yourself, then it's justified. Yes, because he said that, he did that. Yeah, he did that. But why you becoming a slave of that? You have the courage to avoid that. You don't take it. If someone gives you a glass of poison, will you drink? Because someone has given? No. But you take it. First you take it. That's why you react. But don't take it. So how can you stop it at the very beginning to be spiritual? So these are the only problem is that we try to be spiritual, but we don't pay attention to these things. Very minor things. So what can you do? You can nip into the birds. You still nipped into the birds? It can be stopped at the beginning. How? You may say that, no, it is only in my little anger came. No, stop when little coming. Be careful when the storm is a weather report. Big wave is coming, alert, no? But what is there? I don't see it. I see very feeble little ripples are gathering. Taranga ita opime, those desires and other things, though it appears to be like little ripple at the beginning, but taranga ita opime, sangat, by bad association, it will be samudrayante. No? See, it happens. Many experience this way. People don't want he fell into association for say drinking or drug. Just gross example because we see it every time in the society. A, a boy or a girl was never associated with anything. Suddenly, some bad friend comes and gives some. Okay, have this little. You got one day? No. And then you get into it, and then gradually what happens? That intoxication. It takes us into intoxication. And it goes on, and you are captured by that intoxication. It's called drug addict, drinking addict, sex addict. We hear so many things. What? And people all know that this cannot give me joy by adding more wine or drinking more. It does not give me joy. But I'm a victim of that because it has got my neck. So can you then stop at the very beginning? No, because it takes away your whole personality, spiritual personality. It drags you down to brutality. And what you do after being intoxicated, you do not know. Even ordinary people, when they get mad, they behave like a beast. What the question when one is drunk and then does something? They do not know. That's why you'll find that abuse, family abuse or something you hear. And after that, they really, when they come back to their senses, they're so apologetic and they never I will do it again, never I will do. But he cannot or she cannot keep that word because again intoxication comes and that time he forgets and then gets totally lost and then goes down. So it drowns the audience. That's why spiritual life is to raise our consciousness from beastly level to human level to divine level, and divine level to divinity itself. Live in that divinity. So that's what spirituality.
In simple words, how should we view the world?
That's why don't avoid those association. If someone comes with a love, okay, have this. No, I don't have it. Thank you. You are my good friend. You take it. I'm not. I don't take it. But it's not fitting. And associate with holy. This is two opposite. First, go to the holy association. Go to holy people. You live now. What is that in YouTube? And one can sit in the computer and whole day can be holy company. Holy company is no more need to go to a holy person. If you want to keep the mind charged in positive holy thinking, you can listen to songs, plenty of songs are there, talks are there, lectures are there, reading material is there. Just a computer, one computer. These young people who are always with the phone, and if they want to utilize, they can live in heaven all the day. Or they can go to the hell also through it, available, whatever. Holy association or unholy association. The computer is the same. You ask for whatever it will give you. So the world is like that. Whether you like it, and there will be enticing things will come in between you. Even you are asking for something good, something will pop up. Then you will have to say, I don't care it. But if you are tempted and click there, then immediately 10 such association will come. It is not a very realistic example. Just in the computer, what happens? You are searching for something and you are searching something good. And in between that, there will be something come undesirable. And if your mind is weak and just click one, and plethora of such thoughts, such ideas will be charged to you. Okay? then what will happen? You encourage it, then you go deep, deep, deep. Okay, bad association taking you down, 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 down. I mean, similarly, you listen to one talk and see another inspirational talk. Now in the say you can get Ranganathananda Swami's talk, you can say Bhuteshananda Swami's talk, all our different how many things even you can see Swami Mahapurush was walking on the bank of Ganga. You can see on the with direct disciple. We don't see Ramakrishna or Vivekananda or anybody. At least two of the direct disciple walking, we can see a little patch of that video. If you want to see how many good things can be seen. But if you are not careful and you want to be little dark, and then it will go to this. That's why avoid this sun evil company, and then this is evil company because it takes sun, because it is leading to desire, to lust, to anger and delusion. And if someone comes and stops you, then you get mad. When you are enjoying something and someone comes in between them, you will not like that person. He's a good person, but you, because it is stopping your in between, stopping your desired object to see or view or do something, you'll be angry with that person. Anger moves in other direction. And that's why these steps will be one by one. And then one becomes like as you say, human goes down to the brute. Human goes down to the divine. So this is the analysis one have to do. This Bhakti Sutra is giving us that direction. We are all born with sanskaras, our internal impressions of our past deed and thoughts. And we are also created, we can also create new impressions by our deeds and thoughts in the present life. What I am doing now, I can recreate my life by choosing what type of thought I think, what type of association I meet, what type of association we avoid. By that, my character will be built up. Some are good and others are bad. We are all a mixture of good and evil. These sanskaras of our past as well as our present life are like the seeds. And if you keep holy company, it will give the good seeds an opportunity to grow. And the evil seeds will remain dormant then. If you encourage the good seeds, good plants will come. And then other, which will be hedge, unwanted, you can pull out, throw away. We do our gardening. When you do your gardening, what you do? You try to raise that particular plant. You give fertilizer, you do all water and everything. But if you see some weeds are coming, what do you do? Take out of the weeds. If you say, okay, this is there, let the weeds be fed. You fill the weeds, then the plant will not be able to get any space to grow at all. Spiritual growth will be stunted. So hence, the importance of associating with the holy and avoiding of evil company is very, there is importance. There are verses in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the Bhagavad Gita says? What he said, thinking about the sense objects will attach you to the sense object. Attachment comes. I see something. You don't see anything, but you see that good ice cream, then thought of taking ice cream, that thought will come. No? If you don't see, it is not there. But if someone brings it and moreover someone is enjoying in front of me, then what will be? Rasgulla. So my mind will be going for that. So it is the sense objects attachment. And grow attached, then you become addicted, then you will try to take little bit and little bit, little more. Little more. No, you don't take. You have cholesterol. You have your blood sugar. No, go on taking, take, attached. And what your addiction, if you go on adding, then someone stops. Hey, don't take. Someone takes your ice cream plate. What? Then immediately, what? Anger will come. It turns to anger. Be angry. Then you confuse your mind. Mind will be confused. Confuse your mind, you forget the lesson of experience. Forget your experience, you lose discrimination. And lose discrimination, and you will miss the life, one purpose. So it is that happens. It is what, quoting Shankara also in this connection, know that the deluded man who walks the dreadful path of sense cravings moves nearer to his ruin with every step. And know this to be true also, that he who walks the path indicated by his teacher, who is his truest well wisher, and by his own better judgment reaps the highest fruit of the knowledge of Brahman. That means who goes to Guru or teachers or spiritual teacher and takes their advice and builds up, they gets the best benefit. If you really desire liberation, Shankara says, hold the objects of sense enjoyments at a distance. Keep at a distance. Detach. Not that you will not eat, not that you will not wear a good shirt, but attachment. Attachment takes you to more and more and more. Live, enjoy, but detach. So, if you are really desire liberation, if you want freedom, then hold the objects of sense enjoyment at little distance, like poison, and keep drinking in with the delight such virtues as contentment. Cultivate in yourself contentment, compassion, forgiveness, straightforwardness, tranquility, and self control, as if they were nectar. So, do that and avoid those. And that is the way to devotion will grow more. Huh? And then we'll go to read the next verse, 46, next time. So what we learned today in nutshell, that we have 43, 44, 45. 3 verses, what says that we should have to shun or avoid that company, unholy company, which takes us from God to worldliness, to beastliness, to just like degradation in spiritual life. Because this association brings anger, then desire, anger, delusion, loss of memory, and your loss of understanding or analysis, and then it destroys the whole soul and puts him into a very beastly condition. Beast, he becomes a beastly person. In human body, his behavior is like a beast because the angry guy. Oh, everyone avoids the angry guy. But we are all angry sometime or other. And when we become angry, look at our face. The same person is looking so nice. And when angry, someone brings a mirror and show him, see how you look. How is your divine face now looks? You will say it is the worst, vilest scene you can see about yourself. Oh, I have become so chandala. So that should be avoided. And don't even if you think, okay, I have only anger in my mind, I have not expressed that. That's a danger. In your mind, it will come up sometime. Don't suppress that also. Rather redirect it. It is Ramakrishna said, it to redirect towards God. If you keep it suppressed, then in wrong place it outbursts. Anger, normally, something has happened in the office, and when you come back home, that anger was not expressed there. For something in the home, boom, burst. It happens like that. It is a natural thing. It is day-to-day affair. So be careful when it is even the mild form of frustration coming. So you should be careful about that. Okay, thank you. We have some questions now.
Swami, it's hard to do.
Ah,
It's hard to do.
yeah, hard to do. That's why practice. One question. Now, question is, what should be our attitude as a nishkama karma yogi towards people whom we want to avoid, but they reach out asking for help? It depends. If someone is asking for help and whom you want to avoid. Okay? He is asking for help. If you are really depending so much spiritual, then you can think, okay, I don't look at the unwantedness in his character. Someone is asking for help, I will help. But if it feels that that help is causing difficulty for us, we should have to avoid openly saying, sorry, I cannot do anything. But if you are strong enough, then you'll have to say, yes, I know that you are like this, but still, I love in you, God in you, so I will try to help. Your help is like service. You are serving, knowing fully well that the guy can give you a backbite. There are so many people. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's famous story. Vidyasagar said that someone came and told Vidyasagar that such and such person was criticizing you. Then he paused a moment and thought about that person's name, and then afterwards he said, I didn't do any good thing to him. Why he will then criticize me? His whole life tells that if you do something good for anyone, that is the person who will criticize you more. So if you know that, then you don't bother about it. You know that his nature, snake will bite. Snake nature is snake. The dog's nature, street dogs, not in American dogs in the houses. They are great fortunate people. But Indian dogs and others, they move in the streets. They are hungry, they have no food, no. So suppose you go and they may chase you and then bite you. But you have to avoid. But you cannot be a dog to bite the dog. So if you have the power, you take a stick, hey, don't come to us, avoid. Okay. And if you have the power, then embrace. Like the example we heard, our Swami Brahmananda said that the bull came and he just stood, he had the power. No? So you can transform the mind of a bull, charging bull, to quiet down. So if not, for our protection, we'll have to take care. Okay? When person we know very closely is turning very worldly, should we try to help him or her? Or should we just try to distance ourselves in order to avoid disputes? Yes, when the person we know very closely is turning very worldly, you can tell as a friend, as you love, you should say, but understand, because you say he or she will be transformed, don't believe. No one listens to anyone. Everyone's sanskara is there. But if it's good luck, you give some advice and he has a good sanskara, he may catch you. So try to be a friend and try to give some good advice by analyzing the situation and giving some distant good advice. If he wants to change to be spiritual, okay. If he does not, let his life is his life, her life is her life. What is my business? Though are close, yeah, you may say husband and wife, it may be one question. Okay, how about freedom? Husband will say, you have your freedom, you don't come to temple. Okay, you don't have to, but be a good man. And wife, I am spiritual, I am doing puja. Okay, you do your puja. Husband will say, okay, you do your puja, but don't interfere. Don't force me there. Okay, you should give freedom to your husband. Husband should give freedom to you. So these are the common suggestions to keep a wonderful atmosphere in the home. So you cannot change. One point you have to understand, by saying something, you cannot change anyone. Everyone is prompted by their own impressions or sanskaras of the past life. So, but shall you not do anything? So our sanskara is bad. Shall we not try to mend it, correct it? Yes, you do your best and you try to help others to change it. But if it does not change, don't force. Don't force your idea on others. That's our most mistake. We create all the trouble in our day-to-day life because we want to force my idea. This is the ideal, and you learn. I know of some devotees who have passed away in our Hollywood Center. Some devotees, wife is she used to come over here. But husband was good, but he was not interested. He's not obstructing. anything, but wife comes and goes. But he said that you don't try to take me to your church. Okay, okay. But she was very intelligent. See, she used to take Swami Vivekananda's book and the gospel and etc. or something and read, and in her desk she will keep the book open, just as if in the middle of the book is open like that. And when she goes for other chore works or in another room or doing some cooking or something, he stealthily sometimes comes and what is the book? What book is being read? Why? What she is reading? And got into and reading few lines and lines, and every day is watching that, and he became so transformed. He automatically he joined here and he became a devotee of it. So transformation should come. We should create opportunity for others. Never think that my wife will have to follow my path or husband will have to follow my path. Why not be free and enjoy your life? Another question. How do I know who is holy company? I may think they are holy, later we find they are not in good association. Maybe I am not in good company. Okay, how to know good company? That's the simple formula. You two responsibility. You have responsibility and the holy man's responsibility. You go to a holy man, ask spiritual question, and make a relationship with that type of spiritual question only. Spiritual life, spiritual question. Otherwise, what is the use of going to a holy man? You are going to a what you call a grocery shop. Huh? Will you ask for gold there? Can you give me gold? You go to the jeweler shop. So if you go to a holy man, ask holy questions, which is necessary for survival, spiritual. Don't ask them worldly questions too much to drag what is going on in this share market, stock market, or what is going on in this politics and this and that. Yes, that has its place. You can go anywhere. But why will you go to holy man? So utilize the holy man in that way. And holy men also should be careful to talk about God. Vaishnava scripture says that holiness can be understood easily. Jahare herile hriday spure Krishna naam tahare janiyo tumi Vaishnava pradhan. You know he is a holy man. By going close to him or seeing him, you will feel your heart will be feeling for taking the name of the Lord. Lord's name will be spontaneous there. So we have to understand if it is we have to before you think that someone is holy, you must have to analyze that. Day and night. Ramakrishna said, like a money changer, look at me and see whether I'm correct or not. Then another question, how to not see fault with others and at the same time consider something as a harmful association? No. Why not you see fault with others? Don't see fault with others. Means what? Mother is not saying that everyone is holy. No, we are a mixture of good and bad. But you should focus more on the holy side, and that negative side is there, but you don't deal with that. Rather, you avoid. You enter into a room, there may be one side little dirty, another side is good, another there is an altar. You will appreciate the altar for your own good, and you get enjoyment of your spiritual life. But if you go to see the dirt in another's home, then you will create trouble for yourself and for others also. So yes, we should see the good side. What mother said means that person also has a bad side. So if it is bad side too much, then don't go to that person. You see what is good so that your mind becomes pure. So we'll have to make this analysis that everyone is a mixture of good and bad. We are all mixture of good and bad till you realize God. Some may be more bad, some is more good. Less good, more bad, more good, less bad. But you have to select. If there is more good, go and associate. If has more bad, disassociate. But don't hate that person. Look at the good side of that person from a distance. So that is the advice. And another question, who sometimes see people around us suffering? We sometimes see people around suffering and they don't seem to be interested in spirituality and Vedanta. How do we help them? Also, why do some people get attracted to spirituality and some do not? That is the samskara again. Some people feel attracted to spirituality. Eh? Around us we see suffering. Every one of us are suffering. But your Vedanta, why they will listen to your Vedanta? Swami Vivekananda said, a hungry guy eh, will not listen to your Vedanta. You give him good meal, then he will respect you. He will love you. Yeah. So what is the demand of the person? We have to serve people does not mean he is suffering. You give some spiritual ideal, but he does not believe in God. Then you have to give advice in a different way. You have to give advice in a psychological level or in a physical level. If he does not believe in God but he is suffering, you go to help him by putting him with the doctors, putting him with some lawyers, if really it is a question in which level of suffering he is going through. So, not that they will love your Vedanta, but we have to serve for our spiritual benefit to see what is the need of that person. And if I want to help, we have to go to down their level. So, if you tell this boy to listen to Vedanta, you will torture him only. He gives some play, which is nice, by which you will learn something and utilize the time. But if you force, no, come and meditate with me, it is you for meditation. Why are you forcing him to come for meditation? Give him his type of thing. So people will not listen to Vedanta, not necessary. But we will have to, what, you know, miracles are done by great souls. To why? They create devotion in the people who have no faith in God. Suppose a person who is hungry or who is really suffering from some disease, and you get a good connection with a doctor or with some association or some Ayurvedic treatment or this and that, and he or she gets cured, then he will generate love for you. And when they generate love for you, then they know, oh, he's a good man, he helped me, I shall be like him. So generosity will come this way, connection will come this way, but not that everyone should be living with God or they will be asking for God. So need not have to think that everyone will like Vedanta. It needs maturity. Spirituality needs maturity. Unless dukkha trayo vigata jigasha, there is a question. This questioning in spiritual life comes for what? Who have dukkha, this suffering. A worldly suffering comes, bereavement comes, torture comes, health problem comes. So naturally, then people question why, and then gradually they turn towards God. Okay? So thank you all. These big questions, we could have given more time, but we have no time. Already 6 o'clock, our evening prayer time is coming. So, some people get attracted to spirituality because they have their good karma, good meditation, good prayer, good holy company of the past life. That's why they come in this life. And there will be people who will not be at all interested. In the same home you can find there are 2-3 brothers and sisters. One will be totally dedicated to God, one will be totally avoiding God. So what can be done? That's the way, but it is for our spiritual benefit. We will have to bring some good ideas before them according to their condition and need of them. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, today again at 7:30 for our reading of the nectar of supreme knowledge. 7:30 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you, Swami, for enlightening that.
Yes.